motion to accept fire department report with
I'll make a motion.
purchase of Kenwood radio vacuum unit for bill pay.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did we make that about money and it needs a roll call?
No, we're just entertaining, we're not spending.
Okay,
So that
zoning
will get on, that will be on that day's agenda.
zoning administrator report.
Okay, report for November 2025. On the 3rd, went to 170 South Huron and 1339 Schmidt Road to measure setbacks. 4th, worked on the zoning questions for a resident who has a 1 acre vacant lot, wants to build a pole barn for storage without a primary residence on the property. The 5th, issued a zoning permit for cement work at 170 South Huron due to lack of quorum at the planning committee meeting. The 6th, went to 2600 East Beaver Road to look at the county road commission's building site. On the 7th, came into the office to scan and email site plans to Don Hamilton for 170 South Huron. On the 10th, went to 1884 Gloria to measure setbacks. Site's not ready, but did conclude that they need a second accessory building variance for a pole barn. The 13th, went to the elite basement sign to see if MDOT took it down yet, and it has not been removed yet. Went to 1795 Arova Road for a site inspection for a deck. The 18th, worked on sign ordinance questions from Jess Johnson Sign. Forwarded down Hamilton because the ordinance is a little unclear. Spoke with Jason from Austin Associates about site plan questions he had for me about 170 South Huron. On the 19th, went to Beaver Road Discount Septic Build Site, saw that the trusses had been delivered, but they, I informed them they still needed to pay for their building permit, which they did. The 20th, worked with Don Hamilton on some zoning questions he had about mixed uses for zoning on M13. 26, reviewed the site plan again for 170 South Huron and forward to the planning committee and Don Hamilton. And on November 4th, we couldn't have the meeting, planning committee's meeting, due to lack of quorum. When we were leaving the meeting, Steve Dennis was in a conversation with Trustee Campbell. I heard Mr. Dennis ask Mr. Campbell why he was even at the meeting, and Mr. Campbell replied, because I used to be on the planning committee and I'll be back on it within 6 months. I specifically remember this because it didn't make sense to me. If he used to be on the committee and he's going to be on the committee, that means he's currently not on the committee. That's all I have.
I'd like to challenge that comment, and I actually have a recording of what took place that night.
Challenge it all you want.
That's your opinion, that's actually not fact.
That's what I heard.
I'm happy that's what you heard, that's not what was said. But I just happen to be the person that was a part of the conversation, sir. But I did record it because when we were in here, the reason I was at the meeting, and it was stated when I sat in that seat, is I am a resident in this township, and I have every right to be here.
Let's make a motion to accept the zoning administrator report.
Do you have a written copy for us to put with our notes? Usually you have a written copy for us?
Of the letter or of the report or both?
Yeah, of the report. Usually we have a written report, and I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I have to make copies. Want to do that?
Please do.
Okay.
Motion to accept zoning administrator report. Can I have a second?
Yes, I'm ready.
Motion to accept zoning administrator report.
Well, I'll put it in the record, I'm not gonna motion for the report because the statement that was made when I was sitting right there,
Do you want to just remove his letter from the report? I'm fine with that.
Well, we can remove the personal conversation from the report. I think the rest is relevant.
I'm fine with whatever you're suggesting.
take your turn. I would make a motion to accept with the redaction of an outdoor statement that was made between Steve Dennis and myself because it was never made within the building, and it is nothing but hearsay because he was not a first person to the conversation.
Well, we're just removing the whole letter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion is to remove the letter and
To accept the
to
report.
accept the report.
Correct.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Planning Commission.
Planning Commission report, December 8th, 2025. Just a quick synopsis of the special meeting that we held on December 4th, last Thursday. A motion to accept the Bay County Road Commission site plan for the Wash Building, which was adopted, accepted. The site plan for 170 Huron Road. Was not accepted by a vote of 4-1. And this also included the special use permit. The reason the site plan wasn't adopted or in favor of was due to the intended use. However, there had been, the concrete had already been laid prior to this and without a permit, but, and since the day after the site had received their building package, and they went to town. They erected the entire building. Other than that, I don't know what steps are being taken or where it's supposed to go from there, but as far as just what needs to be done. But we also adopted for a new quorum to go from 4 to 3. A committee of 5 people, so it only makes sense to have one more than a half of us to make a quorum, and that was accepted as well. We have an upcoming meeting this Thursday, which is a regular scheduled meeting. We found out that we've had somebody resign from the board, and another person is on vacation. And that would leave 3 of us, but I'm not sure. I haven't gotten feedback on, I know myself and one other person that are going to be there, that there's also one question. We really don't have much for our agenda, but we were going to meet with Don Hamilton and just go over our master plan for the township. And just kind of work on things and see where we're going with this and try to put some dates for the future when we can finalize and get things adopted.
It seems unlikely that you're gonna have a quorum, so if you would like that canceled, let me know and I'll put it on the website.
Yeah. I tried to find out today, but I didn't get any feedback, so hopefully I'll know tomorrow. And that's really about it.
Thank you, sir. So Matt, on Saturday, you had texted me and I was in the office about the building being erected. You said that you had received 3 phone calls, and I went immediately to the zoning room and got a red tag to go and red tag it. I was there within probably 10 minutes of your call, and I even let you know that I delivered it
Yeah, I should have followed up on it.
to that individual, who, you know, as kindly as put, told me to get off his effing property, that I couldn't be there. But, that's what happened Saturday. Just making sure that everybody's clear on. I acted as fast and I called Jay Guston and the zoning administrator immediately to let them know what was going on, so.
Can we make a motion at this point to get a hold of the lawyer and ask him where we go from here with the stop order?
I tried, he won't respond to me.
I'd like to make a motion to get a hold of the lawyer and get a stop order and start the process of what we have to do in this situation. I imagine it's not fast. Well, everybody would like to get an answer out of the gate, but it's not easy at this point.
I know Jay had told me on Saturday that all that he's gonna end up with is fines.
You know,
But it appears, driving by there, that the building's up, like, super fast.
I heard they were putting windows in today.
I think that was all done.
That was all done yesterday.
Oh, okay.
100% complete.
So I don't know if there's anything.
I think the question is who authorizes concrete to be poured? Because when the first work stop order was put in place, there was no concrete, and someone had to have authorized it. It doesn't just happen. The building report was rescinded.
The building permit was rescinded, and what Dennis had told me is that he had gotten with Don Hamilton to find out what to do in this situation. And,
I could address it.
well, it's a line item.
It's a line item.
It's a line
You can
item.
wait, but.
We can wait. I'd like to make a motion that we reach out to the lawyer for the resolution
I second it,
and get something started on this.
because I was actually
Once
told they fast-tracked
70
this,
South Huron property.
because there will be no occupancy and you can put nothing within that building. And because the local court will deal with it in an expeditious manner.
So, motion to reach out to the lawyer
Seconded.
to address the 170 South Huron property.
Roll call.
And that'll be with two.
Well,
one-
per
one officer
resolution.
and one- Okay.
Roll call. Campbell.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. DeShano.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Building report.
Motion to approve building report.
We're missing some permit numbers and some description here on the mechanical. Jamie? Do you have the building permit? Or the building report, I'm sorry, do you have a copy? Okay. There's 2 electrical permits that were not assigned numbers, is that?
It'll give us
Bill?
the number and
Yeah,
then I don't
yeah,
know.
okay.
Okay.
And then there's one mechanical, number 1182, that has no description and no price.
That has no date either.
Yeah, it doesn't, is that just a blank one? I mean, and if you just want to
Here.
keep Johnny in the spot there.
Oh, that's because, that one's not in yet. That, I didn't want to change my,
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to check.
yeah.
Accept building report with
Second.
the addition of the 2 numbers and the blank.
Okay, FOIA report. I'm going
Did we
to,
vote on this? We didn't vote on the building report. It was first and second.
Building report. Seth, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, FOIA report. The clerk, previous clerk, the current clerk, I guess that we accept, has a flood of FOIAs. So much I believe it made her very uneasy and sick. There's a lot of them. There seems to be what I would see as collusion in some of them. So,
Define collusion for me, I don't know that one.
I'll tell you, collusion is when 3 trustees are out in the lobby and one trustee threatens to sue the township over not receiving information from the zoning administrator and why there's a complaint against them. And then possibly complainant is in on the FOIAs. And
We've historically always been a high FOIA township that I've heard coming into it.
not, if you were to look at the whole year, we're probably way down.
Well, I don't know if the book, but historically before this come in, and why I say this is because when I started early and I was on the ZBA and I didn't get the minutes, me and Charles had an issue. He FOIA'd the minutes. I wasn't aware of the 8 days. And I said, Jesus, Charles, you could have called me. You literally have my number. He said, well, this is just how we handle stuff. This is how we get information. And I said, this is what it's come to. He's like, typically, if we wanted information, and I'm not, I'm just telling, yeah.
I never
But
filed
I
an official
had him,
FOIA.
he asked the clerk,
It was
she didn't have
taken out of
it.
context.
It was run around,
Yes.
but listen to me.
I know.
Historically, this township has had a high rate of FOIAs. And you know this personally.
Yeah.
Well, there was not just that he asked for in minutes, he asked for a recording of your phone, he asked for multiple
Yeah.
things that you asked him, why didn't you just come to me? But
So if there's a problem with me and I'm sitting
Yes.
behind you and you put, just a moment, and you put your back to me, first I said, was there a recording of the meeting? Because we record our meetings and we're supposed to keep that. But there was no recording of it. So then the second question was, well, there's gotta be a recording somewhere. Someone's gotta have a recording. But no, there wasn't. So then I said, well, if someone entered a communication, I'd like to see the communication. And that is the context of which
Yeah, and there
what I
was no
said.
packet or communication.
And there was no
I
written
spoke.
communication. So it's like, at this point, we don't have any of the above. Thank you very much.
And this is historically when I was not allowed to try to run the recording equipment either anymore,
I understand.
just so everybody knows. There was about 5 failures and 5 discussions had.
But-
I said, guys, I am not getting that.
If we want to be realistic from that day forward,
It's been good. But we do have FOIAs coming in, and I don't think it'd be hard pressed to say if we have 2 or 3 a month.
and there was no threat of a suit. The thing was, it was an explanation that if someone wants to make a comment, I know what was said standing right at that desk out there.
But
And when the person said what they said, I made the comment, I said point blank period. I said, if there's a complaint against someone, don't you normally contact them before you make a big deal about this? You've never contacted the property owners and you put it into a report. Normally, a complaint comes in written and then you go talk to a property owner. That was our protocol around this township.
You wanted to know who made the complaint.
I actually first asked you
That's
why
what you
you
wanted
didn't
to
come
know.
and talk to me when I first talked to you at that counter.
you said the same thing, Charlie, that you wanted to know who the complainant was, and historically.
That's when I asked for the
we haven't
FOIA.
we haven't let the people till court know who the complainant was, so we were following protocol.
Actually, no, we really didn't, because I requested a FOIA on November 5th. Prior to that, right immediately following that meeting in October, I said, quote, Okay, so this is the thing, I said, you never talked to us. Because I didn't put a FOIA in that day. The
Okay.
first day we talked.
All that aside.
You don't have to believe
when
me,
Charlie
but I
put
have to
in-
believe you.
No, I didn't
No.
say that.
Point of order.
This,
When Charlie put the FOIA in, did he get a written response within 5 days as required by law?
No, nothing.
Then that isn't,
I received nothing from anybody, because when I came in those doors, I was told pending legal litigation, I would not receive it.
then that is not compliant with the accepted.
I just
FOIA
received a letter from the
procedure.
lawyer on, email on Thanksgiving Day from the lawyer regarding this whole debacle. And if you question it, I had asked our clerk that I could see our FOIA file, and I have a copy of every single item that was in that FOIA file, and there is no communications with me other than I turned in a FOIA, and several other people turned in FOIAs, and there were no letters back, and they're not even logged in. There's log sheets in there, the last logged in FOIAs was back in March, in the last fiscal year. For the record,
the FOIAs have been going out.
they're not logged, and they're supposed to be logged by law. And it's in the drawer, her top drawer, in the clerk's office, because she pulled the drawer and she said, you can look at it, and I brought it in here.
You brought it in here to look at it?
Because she told me I could. She personally gave it to me, and I brought it in here. And there were no other communications, and they were not logged.
I seen you take files out of there and look at them in here and in the other room. I understand. I'm not doubting that. But what I'm saying is they've been going out. This is the first time that we've been told there wasn't a notice to you or anybody for that matter. So
And
I did not
historically-
know that you were not notified. It sounded like you were notified.
Historically, we haven't had the lawyers involved in FOIAs, and now they're involved.
Historically,
takes longer than 5 days.
They're in here. And if you look at all the past years, they're almost involved in every FOIA.
Well, if they're being FOIA'd, their information's being FOIA'd. I didn't mean that. Usually, they don't send out FOIA letters.
No, they literally do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, if you were to go to all of Smith Brooker's, well, stuff that they would respond.
Okay.
not very often, only if there was a question about it. They typically were not involved in the 5-day response, which is a standardized letter where you then say that you want your 10-day extension. That doesn't require a lawyer to do the 10-day extension. And
It doesn't.
that's what actually has started to happen, where we're paying hundreds of dollars for the lawyer to send out a letter that's a canned letter.
To make
It could
everybody
just be
aware,
sent
these
out.
are actually FOIAs for the lawyer information. For the lawyer information, some of these. So that brings up a technical
No.
problem.
No, weren't you asking for a zoning complaint?
No, I'm just not just talking about Charlie.
But he
I'm
was
talking about
notified by the
there's
attorney.
others.
He
We
was-
go through that when we will have to get a FOIA report together. As of right now, there's no actual FOIA report. And historically, the clerk has
I've
been
never seen one at any
the FOIA
township.
coordinator. I just
The
heard a lot
report's
of.
in there, it's just not documented.
Yeah.
The report's there.
Yeah.
If I went in that office, I can bring that in and I can prove, every person in this room, it's not documented, none of them. For
Okay,
this
so
whole
we-
fiscal year.
We will table FOIA report and work on getting a report for the township. I would make a motion to table FOIA report so we can get a report, so we can have it for future meetings.
I will second.
What is the FOIA report going to consist of?
Barely gonna have to, I imagine it would be requests, times,
Yeah,
dates,
to be
listings.
careful not to list the requester's name.
Okay.
You don't have to do none of that, all you do is you put
Just
down.
say a FOIA.
Yeah,
number,
FOIA
here's
number.
the
Numbers,
here's
just
the
like
FOIA number, yeah,
report.
that's on this date.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that.
And I will look into it better. Like I said, I'm just trying to start putting some,
If you don't identify the person's name, and if it's just for the board, I think you can still put a topical description.
Yeah.
You're not identifying the person's name that requested it.
yeah, the FOIA number and probably the request.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you're still not gonna say who made the complaint then?
Well,
No.
this is FOIA. This
No,
is-
you're not gonna say
FOIA's
who made the
different.
complaint.
It's just tracking
It's
what we
tracking.
got coming in
I
and
just
going out.
wanted to
Okay.
be clear, because that was the issue before.
okay, motion to table, FOIA report, all in favor?
Aye.
Sheriff's report.
Regular business.
Actually, it seems like that number's a little lower than we were seeing.
But you definitely wanna watch the deer, because there were 12 car deer. Pedestrian accidents in the district. 11 reckless and 23 traffic stops. A motion to accept.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Update township calendar to show resolution bill pay meetings for rest of fiscal year.
The resolution already stipulated that those are gonna happen 2 weeks after the regular meeting, so this would be just memorializing that on the township calendar.
On the website.
There's one on the door as well, it's physically posted, but I can do it.
Um,
So it would just be fitting with the resolution 2 weeks unless it lands on a
Yes,
holiday.
and then
So
we'll,
these are not special meetings?
no, they're,
Well, they're,
There's bill pay meetings.
yes, they're still special meetings because they're not a regular board meeting, but they've already been called by resolution by a majority of the board. So this is just putting them all on the township calendar. So there's no question about the dates for those.
play a date comes when we don't need them. Motion to update township calendar to show special meeting or bill pay meetings, like bill pay meetings, 2 weeks after.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Safe for treasurer.
I've given you 3 different estimates. They're a little bit difficult to come by. Looks like the most reasonable price is ironically from Amazon.
We got it nailed down.
Yeah. But this would actually provide a lot more versatility and a little bit more security overall, especially during tax season. So that price is $459.99. This is on our Amazon account. It is tax exempt, so that would be the price out the door. And I do believe it is free shipping. Hopefully they haven't changed.
Now we won't get it done after Christmas.
Right, it says free delivery, so, no.
Motion to approve $459.99 safe for the treasurer's office.
Second.
Roll call vote. Whalen,
Yes.
DeShano,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Eddie, no. The MERS contract per clerk's recommendations.
I think we're gonna table the MERS contract because of the clerk situation.
I'll second it.
Let's just do the roll call.
Probably would be safer to do so.
Whalen,
Yes.
DeShano,
Yes.
Eddie, no. Campbell.
Yes.
This is just for one person, correct? The MERS recommendation.
That is not how it was
Is
explained.
that how it was said?
It's all receiving.
Oh, I was told that it was just for a fire chief.
No. MERS was an all or nothing agreement when they originally came and proposed it to us. They weren't offering it for one. It was a whole complete pension. Any pension money we have had to be moved from the John Hancock account over to MERS.
The chief told me that he had spoken with the treasurer about that's why I was under that
He had
assumption.
mentioned it to me, but this resolution doesn't indicate
Doesn't say
that.
it.
Okay.
So,
I'm okay with the chief moving if we bring us
He
to
just
something with
wants,
just his
he
name
just
on it.
wants him.
And if he could just go, but last time we talked, from my understanding, it was everybody.
right.
Yeah, when he told me about it last week, he said it was just for him, but I understand.
And it- yeah, and when I read it, it didn't just say one, it said employees.
Right.
Okay, so, question lawyer on cemetery contracts, resolution including pricing for columbarium, perpetual care, and interments.
So, I think because of the contract language, adding the calendarium, and we've talked about perpetual care, I'd like to bring the lawyer a grocery list of just to make sure it's not, we don't have to have another contract or a resolution to add the calendarium to the contract. Or if we can create one super contract for the whole thing.
In addition to that, I obviously am more concerned about perpetual care. That's never been set up before, so I want to make sure that we're in compliance.
And it's a new thing relatively
Yes.
for everybody.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure we are completely in compliant with state law when we set up perpetual care.
Correct.
Other than that, I think that the pricing, I don't really have any major complaints about the proposed pricing. I just want to make sure that we put it into a good legal vehicle, so we don't run into anything.
The motion to approve, getting hold of the lawyer on the cemetery contracts resolution, including pricing for calendarium, perpetual care, and interments.
I was second.
Roll call vote. Campbell.
Yes.
Buchanan.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Whalen.
Yes.
Okay, review janitorial applications. There's two. We have Kyle Jeske and Deborah Brzezinski.
Way more applications in the clerk's office, sitting on the file cabinet. There's several of them.
Janie, were these the only?
Just two. Only 3 went out.
Kyle looks like he's young.
He's been on Parks and Rec. Yeah, he's been on
He's
Parks.
been in his car for a little bit.
He volunteers a little bit. He's probably have the light to wash some tall windows.
I know that before, he had said, Kyle had said that he was on a swing shift. And I asked him when he came in to get this, how that would work, and he said something about taking time off. So I can't imagine it'd be easy to take time off to, just oversee the hall for rentals.
Well, he explained that, I spoke with him, he explained to me that, because I thought, I was confusing the swing shift with like a split shift. I thought, you go in the morning and you take down and you come back at night, but he's on, he's kind of like a fill-in person where 1 week he's filling in for people on first shift, 1 week he's filling for people on second shift, 1 week filling for people on third shift. But he didn't think that would affect him at all.
You walked both people around.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you did
Explain
the job procedures and how many hours you roughly work a week. And he felt and she felt they were both.
They could both, yeah. I just worry about sometimes the physicality of that job. If you have all 50 tables to set up or take down, you have to be able to do that,
Yeah, I know Dan even told me it whipped him out a couple times.
old applications. I haven't seen one with an age ask on it in a long time.
What do you guys think?
Well, you're gonna need one. You don't know, do you roll dice? They both are qualified. Kid can retire windows, I think. It looks like it's an application going around the car. I love that, I had lots of applications like that.
He's a decent kid.
He's a decent kid.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Oh, just give him a try.
Oh, they're looking at cleaning.
So,
I'd make a motion to hire Kyle Jeske.
I second that.
Roll call vote. Whalen,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shano,
Yes.
Eddie, yes.
I believe the second application needs to be kept. We should find that the
About
standard
6
isn't
months.
met and we don't go through the same process.
Yeah, we can keep taking them.
She
Yeah.
says she's got her.
You might get a different job or a full-time job.
She does this all over the.
Well, that's what she says her business is clean, so I'm almost thinking, but
Breaking up the hall or something. Is that what you're getting at? Breaking it up,
I think you could almost do that. It's-
like cleaning the office to one person and the hall management to the other.
We gotta make sure that person has weekends.
Yes. Yeah, I think we could maybe entertain that down the road. Yeah, I'd hold
Yeah,
on to
I
that
think both
application.
applications need to be kept.
Yeah.
Onto the land split, KH and TK Farms LLC. I'd like to make a motion to accept the land split. It shows that he's got the circumference of both parcels on this, and our assessor approved that it wasn't at first a month ago when he turned it in, but he got him what he needed, because I believe the size of the parcel, the parent parcel, was not given, and now it is given.